Ladies and gentlemen, my warmest greetings to you. I hope you're all doing amazingly well. Today, I have a very, very special guest, Zoe Smith. This incredible lady is my own Reiki master. I have learned quite a lot from her. She's an incredible, incredible master. Among the modalities she practices, well, of course, there's Reiki. She's a shaman. She's a master practitioner of yoga and many, many other things. So I'd like to pass it on to you, Zoe. Please introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you, Amir. It's lovely that you've invited me to talk to you today. Holistics is my thing. I've been doing holistics for quite a while now. Started with yoga, and progressed to Reiki. I also do a reflexology, Indian head massage. So they're all tools. I like to think of them as tools that we can just apply whenever we feel that we need them in our lives. So they're very complementary to modern medicine. You know, it's not instead of, it's complementary and supportive of the modern medicines that we have today. And I think they're accepting that more now. I see actually job roles advertised in the NHS for Reiki practitioners, which is fantastic. And even just, you know, people to go in and do holistic treatments. So that's really, really good news. I myself run a studio, Silver Spiral Holistic Health in Tiptree. So that's in Essex. A lot of you may know Tiptree from the jam. When I lived in New Zealand, it was quite nice to see that they had Tiptree jam on the shelves and Malden sea salt as well. So we do get a bit global. There's more interesting things, Amir. You're not even aware of this, actually. So this is hot off the press. But I'm actually creating a wellness suite in Tiptree. So above me is a space very similar size to the studio, and I'm creating a wellness suite which can be a training room for other people that can offer healing modalities. So psychiatrists, counsellors, reflexologists, you know, we all offer something different, so there's no treading on toes when it comes to what we can offer. So I want to create a real nice environment, a wellness community locally for me, so that we can support everyone, especially as you know, things are getting quite tricky out there at this time of year. So I think we need to sort of support each other and be aware of that.
Wow, that's incredible news. So your community is growing organically. That's really fantastic. And so you've been working on this diligently, very hard for a long time. It's a real delight to see that it's coming to fruition. And I really wish that it continues to do so. So hopefully, as our esteemed audience get familiar with you and your practice and the work that you do, even more will come towards the wonderful things that you have to offer towards people's well-being and the highest good of all. So,
Mm-hmm.
Zoe, you've reached a certain level of mastery and success, and I don't want to exaggerate. This is really an honest observation. So, I'd like you to give some advice to people. So, I mean, let's start from the beginning of your journey, from when you were very young. And how did you first notice that you had certain gifts? What was your journey like? For example, what was nature like where you grew up? So please,
Okay. Yeah.
just tell us a little bit about this.
Okay. So I guess when I was 17 was when I first was interested in the yoga. So that was something that I could actually practice, and I started to be aware of energy flows in the body. So, you know, almost becoming conscious that they were not just physical beings. There's something else going on in the body. I didn't know anything about chakras. It was very early stages, but you can feel it when you practice the postures and you get in that alignment. You can feel there's more going on. And then obviously as you go deeper, you learn about how to control the energies, energy locks. Oh, just knocked over my rose quartz. I'm going to bring it forwards.
Yes,
And then
it's beautiful.
there's
Oh wow.
crystal.
It wanted to say
So
hello.
there you go. The crystal wanted to join in.
Yay! That's a
Um,
big
so
thing.
obviously, a lot of people will be familiar with the fact that when you're children and when you're youngsters, you're drawn to all things shiny and sparkly. So crystals are naturally something that is a really great thing to get into, and to when you're children, to feel the different vibrations from the different crystals and how they make you feel as well. So getting back to my story, I'll put the crystal there for a moment. It wasn't till later on that I really was drawn to Reiki. I didn't really know what it was. I'd heard the term, didn't know how it was spelled. I know still even now people pronounce it wrong. I just think of the rake in the garden. That's how you can remember how it's pronounced. And I found a really nice in a website that explained all about the original system of Reiki, because obviously, like anything, once you've got an established framework for something, you get all different offshoots and all different styles and all different flavors. So it was really nice to read this particular web page, which was Reiki Evolution, which spoke all about the original system, where Reiki comes from, what it is, what it isn't. And that was very, as I say, nuts and bolts, practical to me. My background before coming into the holistics is the heating and ventilation systems. So it's very mechanical engineering, very grounded. So I'm quite practical in my approach to my healing as well. So I know we can obviously have a lot more ritual, a lot more flamboyance if we choose to, but we don't have to. We can keep it quite basic and grounded and simple as well. So the Reiki was the next modality that I added, and I was really quite surprised how powerful the Reiki energy is. Once you have that intention, once you've connected to the energy and you've been empowered, then it's with you for life. Life goes off on a tangent sometimes, as we know, different houses, different jobs, different relationships, but Reiki's always there. We can come back to it. And I found it really useful when I emigrated. I emigrated in 2007 to New Zealand, to Christchurch. And it was a really lovely way to connect with people who had similar interests. So getting involved in sort of groups, spiritual development groups, and we did healing and Reiki, and we all sort of had that similar common interest together. So I would say that, that was a really good thing to get a new group of people, new friendships, even friendships that are lasting today, even though I'm back in the UK now. But, they are lifelong friendships and connections that we can make with people through our healing. And then obviously with the Reiki and the yoga, it was very nice, but I just thought, I really like having these treatments myself. Reflexology was one in particular. I don't know if you know much about it, but it is based on the concept that there's reflexes on the soles of the feet, which relate to all of the body systems, not just physical, mental and emotional as well. So it's really interesting when you get someone's feet in front of you and you're working, you can actually build quite a nice picture of what's going on for them, and sort of like have a little chat and see how you can sort of help them make changes in their lives if needed. I'm not going to give you an example, I was going to, but I won't. So reflexology is really nice, and Indian head massage, another one that I love to have myself. So that was why I trained in those two in particular. So my favorite treatment to offer is a top to toe. So if someone comes in, they have the head massage, and the head massage is very involved, actually. You don't probably realize, but it starts with the neck, and you get the shoulders and the upper back and the arm movements. You get a full arm massage, hand massage, then you get the scalp and the face. So nice, complete. And then
That
obviously
sounds
I go down and
amazing.
and then do the reflexology to finish off, and then make sure that they're not too sleepy when they go out the door.
Right. That's actually safe for them to drive back home. They shouldn't be too relaxed.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, so
What?
as a child, I wouldn't have said I really noticed it. It was probably when I got to about 17, I think. Yes, I would say, and started the yoga.
And it once it started, it never stopped, it seems. You just kept
It
on
didn't.
naturally getting better and involving more tools, as you say. I really love how you describe these modalities as different tools in the toolbox. Isn't that the truth? There is no
Mm.
end to how much you can learn. So I remember the master attunement that you graciously did for me. It was so powerful, Zoe. It took me into a trance. The empowerment was probably about 10 minutes, but I saw an entire lifetime that I had
Yeah,
avoided.
I remember. I
Yes,
remember now.
yes. And I burst into tears saying, "Oh my God, I just changed the time stream. I'm on a different path now." So yes, you are one incredibly powerful master. And for people in the southeast of the United Kingdom, London, Suffolk, Essex, Cambridgeshire, I would really recommend that you take classes with Zoe. She's the real deal. She's the genuine article. And as you can see, she's a lovely, lovely human being. That always helps. So not just powerful, genuinely nice. Let's talk about what you see happening now in the holistic scene. How, well, many people come to you. I mean, you do this on a day-to-day basis, full time. Do you observe any changes in people? So compared to, say, when you began doing Reiki treatments, do you see a trend? Are people becoming more aware and more welcoming to this sort of holistic thing?
Yes, it's quite interesting because I'm getting people come to me now who have never had Reiki before, but it's been recommended. So the more people that have the treatments and actually have experienced them, obviously they can then share that with their friends and their family and offer it as a tool for them to then use for themselves. I think obviously when Reiki was quite new, people didn't really know what it was. It seems a little bit out there, I think, even now for some people. But I think, it's a lot more available. Like the local gym even can do Reiki. Someone will be in there doing Reiki now. So as I say, if you've experienced it and you felt the benefits of it, then of course you're going to share that with other people. So what I've noticed is recommendation seems to be a big thing for people coming for either Reiki, reflexology, or Indian head, because the people that have felt the benefits then want to share that with others. I think as a species, we do want to help. That's
Yes.
the underlying point that we want to do. So we want to share. If something works for us, we want to share that with as many people so that they can get the same effects and the same benefits as well. So that is a change. And also because of the modern medicine, and they have realized that it's quite supportive for what they do, because obviously they're a little bit overrun at the moment as well. You do get referrals as well sometimes, where they feel perhaps that this person might benefit from a stress relieving tool or technique that they can take away with them. So there's lots out there. I mean, I'm a big believer in the value of the breath, which is free. So if we can just learn a few soothing or energizing, because we can do it for both, breathing techniques, then that's going to benefit your health and well-being.
That's incredible. So all in all, things are looking up. So would you agree that we should be optimistic about the future?
I think we should be optimistic. Obviously, as I say, there are challenges that we face at the moment, aren't there? But if we can sort of, as I say, create supportive communities and help each other, then we've got it nailed.
That's so true. That's so true. And well, let's now talk a little bit about. Well, you mentioned the traditional methodology of Reiki, and that, of course, like anything else you mentioned, there are many offshoots. So personally, I think that for the purpose of teaching, we must value the traditions. And then after, perhaps when somebody learns the technique, then they can go play with it, modify it, and evolve it. But would you agree, for the
Exactly.
sake of teaching, we should preserve the traditions the way they are?
Yes, so that is very true. I think as long as the foundations are there and you are explaining that, this is Reiki, I mean, sometimes, as you know, I teach us and I'll bring in a bit of yoga or but I will specify this isn't Reiki, but you could.
Yes,
So yeah, so it's worth honoring the traditions and obviously knowing where it comes from and what the intention behind it was. I mean, some of your viewers may not even realize, but actually Reiki was intended for self-work only initially. So about balancing your own energies and, to try and help balance and maintain your own well-being. So there wasn't any modality at all as such. So you couldn't, and it was just a side effect that you can pass that on to somebody else and their body will recognize the energy and be able to use it to heal themselves. So yeah, I definitely think that the traditions are very important because that's keeping almost like ceremony, I guess, the traditions as they should be. And then, like you say, we all offering our own perspective. So if you are drawn to crystals, I always say to someone, you have your Reiki, you have your method of working with the energy. But if you are drawn to crystals and this can enhance your practice and you feel drawn to do so, then why not?
that's
It's
so
it's
true.
about freeing up the practice. Once you've got the technique, once you've got the tool, then take ownership of it for yourself. It's like the symbols. We learn a certain amount of Reiki symbols when we learn Reiki. We can channel our own symbols with intention and use them for specific needs and purposes that we want to use them for. So that it's boundless, really. We can actually create our own version of once we're feeling confident and at home with what we need to be doing ourselves.
Incredible. Very beautifully put. And so, speaking about making these healing modalities our own, well, I've had the honor of joining your Reiki drum class. It hasn't been done yet, but I really look forward to this. So this is something that is probably quite a bit newer than traditional Reiki.
Yeah,
Most certainly, it's a lot newer than shamanism. Shamanism is age old. So could you kindly speak a little bit about Reiki drum? So this is something not many people have probably heard of. And as
no,
far as I know, it's really amazing.
it's exciting, isn't it? I'm glad that you're joining us for the training. That'll be amazing. So obviously frame drums, one of the oldest instruments, and the sound and the beat of the drum is very primal. It brings us to a state of remembering, and they've been used for healing, as you say, since the start, really. So that is very old. Where the Reiki drumming came into effect was there was a guy called Michael Baird, and he was a shamanic drummer, but he was also a Reiki practitioner. And he had them separate because he'd learnt them separately. So he was going about his healing one time at a retreat, and he was doing some shamanic work, but he found he was picking up negative energies, like he wasn't obviously protecting himself in the way that he should have been. And he just, on a light bulb moment, brought in Reiki to help with that protection. So he was blending his knowledge, like you say, he'd learned this information, and all of a sudden he realized, well, why can't I bring them together? And he did. And then obviously he wanted to share that because it worked really well for him. So there's actually 3 different modalities in part of the training that you'll learn. But it's a really nice way. So he did that in 1999. So it is well, it's a long time ago now, but no, it is quite new in the scheme of things. It's quite new. And the lady that brought it over to the UK was a lady called Sarah Gregg, and she's actually just in the next county in Hertfordshire. And she went over in 2007 and trained with him. So she brought it over. So it's only been in the UK since 2007. And we're sort of pioneering this networking and getting more and more people to have this connection to the drum, the healing of the drum. We actually charge the drum with the symbols, so you can work with the same energies that you would with your healing anyway. As I say, and there'll be 3 different techniques that you'll learn on your training. That's why it's a 2-day course. One of them training modalities is a Reiki drum journey. So this is a really powerful tool to have. And in fact, I think probably actually more powerful than the drum journey is the Reiki drum mental and emotional reprogramming. So it's a little bit like reframing something that you want to change in your life. And just by having that intention and having the drum beat around you while you're being healed it does create shifts, no doubt about it. So yeah, looking forward to sharing that with you very soon.
So many amazing things just in what you mentioned, what you talked about. Mental and emotional release, journeying, the effect of intention, and then mixing modalities. I would imagine if one is drawn to crystals, it wouldn't be a bad idea probably to use crystals in addition. So,
Exactly.
oh, wow, that's really incredible. And
And also, of course, all the other sound, like people sometimes like rattles. I know you've got a couple of rattles that just moves and shifts energy as well. You can bring those into the equation. Singing bowls, it's not Reiki drumming, but again, we can add these things if we feel drawn to do so.
so like a master mechanic, you've got a big toolbox.
Exactly.
This one or that tool, or you've got them all at your disposal. And
Yes.
something that is there are modalities that follow a certain, let's say, sequence or routine, but they don't involve a lot of intuition. But Reiki most certainly is not one of those. Intuition is used, and the more you practice, dare I say, your intuition becomes a lot stronger. So could you basically, in your own words, tell us about your experience of what intuition is, how it comes about, and for our esteemed audience to take something practical from it, how would you recommend that they go about strengthening this and nurturing this?
Okay. Yeah. Intuition. It's difficult at first for people because I know that when I do Reiki 1 training, we obviously teach a set of hand positions so that someone's got the tools where they can go away and actually practice and give a full treatment without worrying too much that they're doing it wrong or getting it wrong. So you do have set structure at the first level for that reason. And then when you go to the second level, hopefully you've been practicing quite a lot and you'll start to almost be ready to move out of those structures. It's almost like it's a very personal journey when you do your Reiki. Different people feel ready to progress it at different times. So it's normally when someone's like, they just want to deepen their practice. They just want more from what they're doing. It feels good. It feels like it's doing them a lot of good, but they just feel that they want more from the practice. So then they go on to a second level. So at the second level, it's all about throwing out the structure and following that intuition. So we learn tools to help that intuition. There is a method that you learn at level 1 called scanning, and you might be drawn to a particular area. But then when you go to level two, it becomes a little bit more refined with a mudra, and you actually ask to be guided. And I guess that guided information is very intuitive. So it does take a bit of practice to follow your intuition, because we doubt. It's very human, it's very natural. Getting that confidence, having the level 1 and the feedback is when you get to that level 2 where you actually feel ready to explore and push the boundaries. So the other techniques which helps with that is with the Reiki 2, we practice techniques like many hands, where you can actually get the feedback from your recipient that just by your intention of placing in your mind a pair of hands on someone's shoulders, that person can feel the heat and the warmth. So when you get that evidence coming back, then you begin to trust your intuition, because it's quite amazing if you've not done this sort of work before, how incredible it works. If you try it and have a go, it works. So that's my advice to your watchers, your viewers. Just give it a go. Partner up with someone, play.
Wonderful. Yes, yes, indeed. Well, isn't that the best way to get rid of doubt? Try it and it works. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Then try it again. Oh, wow, it works again. That gets rid of the doubt pretty good. So yeah, that's amazing. Well, when I was learning Reiki as your student, in addition to these, you provided quite a lot of material, many books, many audio tracks that were focused on different meditations. So I really did take to those, doing them daily without fail. I think they really did help. They were very beneficial. So I think with like any other skill, I suppose, if you stick with it with discipline, you're going to benefit from it. But the meditations, they were really amazing. So I think that would be something, if I would like to recommend people to do something or follow a methodology, I would probably say meditation. That would be a good way to go.
Yeah, so the Hatsure is probably the meditation you're referring to, where you're moving energy through the body. And the reason it's such a good discipline to do it every day is we've all had those days where you just don't feel like it. You don't feel like doing anything. You might feel low, but that's when you need your energy work, your tools. But if you've got the discipline there, even if you don't feel like it, you'll do it, and then you'll feel better. So
Yes.
if you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. I'm not saying that, but if you can get into a regular practice, a bit like cleaning your teeth. If you missed a day, hey ho, your teeth aren't going to fall out, but you want to go back to cleaning them the next day.
Yeah. So yeah, you shouldn't make a habit of missing a day and thinking they're going to be there tomorrow. Eventually, it's not going to be there. And so, well, we've talked about many different modalities, a lot of them that you are a master and a teacher in. We've spoken about the community that you're gathering together, different practitioners creating a safe place. Now that, well, we have an extended audience basically watching this, well, please do a call to action. So please tell us a little bit about Silver Spiral. Well, we see the Silver Spiral behind you on the wall.
That's
The
the
palm, the
logo,
Buddha's
yeah.
palm, and the beautiful spiral. So that's the symbol or the sigil of power of the movement that you are pushing forward. So please talk a little bit about that, what you want to see, what kind of people you like to draw, and the future that you see.
Okay, so the hand logo actually I thought was really good because it incorporates the hands on for Reiki and also reflexology, massage, but it's also all of the elements as well. So that was a really nice thing, and I do a lot of mudras with the yoga. And I know you like a lot of mudras as well, Amir, so you understand the power of making those connections.
Absolutely. Mhm.
So I thought it was a really nice, simple logo to use for Silver Spiral Holistic Health. So when I first started, obviously I didn't have my own studio. I started small, and it's like anything. We can all manifest what we feel drawn to, if it's for our highest good, if it's for the greater good, if it's going to benefit, then I think the path is cleared. So it almost feels like with this this wellness community that I'm building, it almost feels like I'm in service of something greater than myself, and I'm drawn to do it because someone else is asking for it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So you're kind of just following the flow, and hopefully by doing that and being authentic with it, then the right people will come to me, and they want to be part of this community, and they'll want to be sharing in what we're trying to create here. So it's nice to have built it this far, but now I feel ready to network and expand it further to involve more people, because then we'll have more to offer, and we'll be stronger for it as well. So anybody that's interested in joining in, then by all means get in touch. I do have a website. It's silver-spiral.co.uk, so it's very easy to find me online. So it'd be good to connect with like-minded people.
Amazing. Hopefully there'll be much more cooperation between us. Of course, I've got the utmost respect and unconditional love for you. You'll always be my esteemed master, dear master.
Oh, thank
And
you.
some things go beyond time and space and even individual lifetimes. And well, when I was starting, I wasn't in the best place to begin with. So thanks to your teaching, no small part being, well, as a result of that, my life has really changed around for the better in every single way. And
I'm
so,
really pleased, but it's you that's done that, not me.
you see, it's you point the direction. I was the horse that liked to run. You
Yeah,
don't need
I
to.
signposted. But yes, you did the work.
Well, it's really good to be able to basically honor one's master, one's teacher, and hopefully this will reach many, many people who are where I used to be. There's lots of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, out there that has been proven time and time again over many, many decades, even centuries. So when there's a will, there's a way, I believe. There's always way for self-improvement and getting out of a hole, getting to the light, climbing the ladder. So, is there another modality that you would like to learn in the future? Is there anything that's piqued your interest?
Ah, good question. I was thinking about doing the facial reflexology,
Wow.
which is it's called Miandui.
Hmm.
And it's something where I think it's almost like giving yourself a little facelift, I think.
Wow.
I don't know, but I thought maybe that would be nice to add in with the Indian head and stuff as well. So
Wow. Wow. So many different modalities. It's like
yeah, there's not.
being in a candy store. Which one do I go for?
I did do foot reading as well. That was very, very good, actually. So that was where it brings in a little bit more of the mental, emotional aspects on the feet. So you can actually read what's going on for someone by reading markers on the feet. So that was very interesting.
So would this also um, give you information on emotional, maybe even spiritual problems that the person has, guide you in
It
that?
might, yeah, it might do. And it's based on the elements as well. So,
Mhm.
for example, if somebody's got very hard skin, very protective, that would be related to the element of earth.
Uh-huh.
So you'd want to sort of balance that out by saying, oh, if you've got a bit stuck, a little bit rigid, you might want to do a bit more movement, physical movement, or they might need to journal to get stuff flowing. So you just sort of use the elements. If there's pain or it's a red patch, that would be the element of fire. If there's dryness, element of air. So that's kind of how it works anyway. It's just sort of balancing out the elements.
Incredible, incredible. So all these ancient teachings, well, our ancestors weren't idiots after all. It seems that they really were onto something. Ah, wow, that's amazing. So the five elements, they don't seem to disappear, whether
No.
it's in the healing aspect or in the spiritual practice or maybe ceremonial work, ritualistic work, very, very powerful concepts, well, elements of creation that will have an effect on our health.
Mm.
Um, so there's other modalities from many different cultures. Actually, to be honest, from every single culture that focus on this elemental approach to health. So, and now, well, you've been in this business for a long time. Dare I say, many, many lifetimes without stop. Now, at this point, at this present moment of now, well, this is reaching countless audience across the sea of time. If there's something that would be on top of your list for well-being, that would be beneficial for everybody listen to this, what would be your advice to us?
My advice would be to keep breathing. So using the breath.
Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing? Keep breathing. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Well, and if you don't take my master's advice, you will not like the outcome.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
That's simple, isn't it? Just keep breathing.
It is simple, but people don't breathe. People
Right.
don't,
Yes.
because we don't actually learn how to breathe.
Correct.
It's a
Yes.
kind of a natural mechanical breath. It's only when we start to break it down, dissect it, look at it, you can realize how much we can actually do with the breath. So yeah, definitely look at the breath as a tool to help you to sleep, to help you to energize, de-stress. There's breaths for de-stressing. The mudras can be worked with the breath. So there's mudras for all sorts. One for focus, one for letting go. There's all these things. So I'd say look at the breath. Keep breathing.
Wow. And that is powerful. And as you said, I mean, very correctly, we don't learn how to breathe. It's just left to the mechanical and sort of temporal timing part of the body to do its own thing. And many people don't really know how powerful breath is. So that's an amazing bit of advice for everyone. Look into breath and breath work. That would be good. And I suppose, Zoe, there's so many resources nowadays available to people for free. Really, they don't need to do a lot of digging either.
No, YouTube is really good for looking up the mudras and just simple breathing techniques. So if you typed in, for example, energizing breath, there'd be plenty of free videos there for you. So you don't even need to know what you're looking for. You could just type it in. Or if you're feeling a little bit sort of tired and you just want to add something to energize you, to lift you, you can type that in and there'll be plenty of options for you to go for. If you're having trouble sleeping, there's a mudra for insomnia. It's so effective that when I teach it, I don't hold it very long because it makes you want to fall asleep.
Yep, you want to go to sleep right there. Let me take a little. Yes, yes. Wow, incredible. Incredible. So we talked about mudras and breath work. And I would like to now just hand over the panel to you, the floor to you. If there's anything you would like to say, anything you'd like to express to our esteemed audience, A bit of your wisdom, whatever comes to mind, whatever comes to heart.
Oh, you've put me on the spot now.
Well, just let it flow. I mean, where the
Okay.
energy is going, let's see where it takes us.
Let the energy flow. Okay. So, words of wisdom. Well, I don't feel that to actually be in a position where you're in your power, that you don't feel special. You're just on your own path, you're on your own journey. So every one of you, and every one of you has this power within, this inner strength. And you can tap into it just by your intention and explore and play, have fun with it. I don't think we need to be too serious. Actually, that is a really good thing. Actually, that's nice wisdom from me. I like it. Don't be too serious with it. Life's too serious anyway. Just play with it. As long as we've got certain foundations in place. Obviously, we want to have protection. We want to be for the highest good, generally. So as long as the intention's there, then we can do no wrong. We can do no harm. So we can play with it and have fun with it. And that way, life becomes more interesting because it's not just about your physical day. You can have your meditations and you can journey in your meditations and you can play with your energy and you can feel the benefits of being free of boundaries, free of perceived boundaries. And then, you actually just feel more free as a person. So not as restricted, not as trapped, because you've allowed your spirit to explore and have a little play. But I also want to extend my gratitude to you, Amir, for inviting me. This is completely outside my comfort zone, if your viewers haven't already guessed. So I apologise. I
What
apologise if I
what are you
rambled.
talking about, Zoe? You're amazing. You're natural. And
So
wow, I mean, I've never come across this before. That's most certainly sublime, beautiful. Have fun with it. Oh my God. Because we're living in a world that's serious, as you say, there's so much aggression, so much exaggerated violence and sexuality and pursuit and desire. It just takes us away from that place of actually being able to
playful.
enjoy, isn't it?
Mm.
People miss that. They think once you're a child and you turned into an adult, you don't deserve that playfulness anymore. And that's not true. That's just such a beautiful, beautiful piece of advice for all of us. Thank you so much, Zoe. I mean, this is really uplifted. You just made my
You're
day.
welcome.
And so if you, I think we've probably talked about everything. If you would like to, just again for our esteemed audience, let everybody know how to get in touch with you, how to find you, the treatments and the courses that you offer. I would be very grateful.
Okay, so everything should be on my webpage. It's homegrown, so I wear many hats, a bit like you. So
Wear the hat.
it's yeah, it's www.silver hyphen, which is the minus sign, spiral.co.uk. And
Well,
everything you should need is on there. How to contact me. Yeah.
amazing.
Having a look at what's available.
And so they can find the courses, different services, healing treatments, and everything good is on your website. Well,
That's correct. I haven't put the wellness suite on there yet because that is hot news and I haven't got it up and running yet, but that will be added.
well, it's going to be incredible, Zoe. It's just always a pleasure speaking with you. The esteemed ladies and gentlemen probably by now see you're really easygoing and chilled, and you've got such a lovely energy. I really, really appreciate your valuable time, and I hope that we could do more of these interviews as hopefully you expand your community of wellness, of well-being, and of amazingness. And we can talk more about this probably in the near future. I would like to give you the last word, and please go ahead if you'd like to say anything.
Okay, so thank you. That would be good. Good to meet up. I'm really looking forward to our training, which is coming up. Thank you for listening, everyone. So, yeah, be well, stay safe, and keep breathing.
Yes, amazing. I agree completely with my master. So keep breathing, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.